Hey, Peter, we're just starting. You can call back and we'll let you in. Thanks. Bye. Good evening, everybody. It's the November 5th meeting of the Norwalk Fair Rent Commission. Appreciate everybody joining tonight. It is 7:35 p.m. and we are calling the meeting to order. I note for the record that we have our commissioners, Lenice Constant, Brenda Penn Williams, Tatiana Santiago, and Hanson Guest, along with our staff, Carlos Duque and attorney Russell Liskov. And we will move to the first agenda item, which is I guess technically second agenda item because I just did the first agenda item, which is roll call. But we'll go over the minutes of the last month's meeting, which I will start at the beginning and share. So, has everybody had a chance to read the minutes of the meeting? They are in your meeting packet. If you haven't had the chance to, and I'll share them on the screen. And if anybody has any changes that they wish to make, please let us know.
I think number 2 is Odine's Bistro Pub, but doesn't really matter.
I think it was Gastropub even, but yes.
Gastropub, okay.
And then same, the correction on page 2 that Wolf Pit.
And just for the record, Commissioner Halliday just joined.
Thank you, Carlos. Hi, Peter.
Okay, thank you. I'm in.
Okay. Any other changes on page 1? Any changes on page 2? Any changes on page 3? Any changes on page 4? All right, now we'll take a motion.
Move that the minutes be accepted.
Second.
We have a motion from Commissioner Guest and a second from Commissioner Halliday. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great. Go on to the next agenda item, which is public participation. Do we have any members of the public? Carlos, is anyone here who wishes to speak?
We do not.
Seeing no members of the public, we will move on to our next item, which are the reports, and I'll start with the chair's report. Good evening, everyone. I'll stop sharing for a moment. Good evening, everyone. A couple of items I just wanted to discuss. I started in the Norwalk Fair Rent Commission in, I think it was 2004, so roughly over 20 years ago. Dick Booth was the chair at the time, and he and Martin Bernard rotated back and forth every other year with who served as the chair. One thing that we were always very proud of, I have always been very proud of serving in this commission, is that although people serve on the commission from various political parties, from various walks of life within Norwalk, we have never been a partisan board. We have never been a politically divided board, in my experience here. We've always sought to do what was right for the Norwalk tenants and landlords who come before the commission, and have kind of put whatever we always bring with us, of course, our political opinions, but we don't bring our partisan leanings to the table when we discuss the topics here. We're coming to it as Norwalkers, thinking about what's in the best interest of Norwalk. And that's something that I've always been really proud of with this commission, and I'd like to the extent possible, can carry on with this commission. I raised this because we just, of course, had a recent election, right? The first Wednesday in November always follows the day after Election Day. So, and so I imagine that all of us have political opinions, whether we're in favor of what the results were or opposed to what the results were. And of course, all of us are relatively politically involved in Norwalk, but I just ask that we keep our thoughts about the election to ourselves during the course of the meeting. But I also do want to mention that it was clear from the discussions leading up to the election that some of the key issues that the new mayor and the new common council will be facing involve the concepts that this commission deals with: affordable housing, fair rents, the building of apartments, which doesn't necessarily directly, we don't necessarily have any say about the current rents that are set, but certainly we have a say about what rental increases take place in those apartment units. And these are issues that are, I think, going to continue to be hot button topics within Norwalk for the next several years. And I think that it's important that we continue to use our platform as commissioners, both to serve the best interest of Norwalks on the cases that come before us, and to share what we're seeing with our political leaders as they come through. I know Carlos certainly works very hard in City Hall to serve our residents to the best of his ability. And I think as commissioners, we also have the opportunity to say, hey, here's what we're seeing, and here are some possible solutions to bring those to our political leaders. So those are sort of the thoughts that are on my mind, just given the recent election, and obviously with the new mayor and with the new members of the council, we'll see how they choose to address these issues. But as concerned citizens, we can raise it as well. And with that, I'll turn it over to Carlos for the director's report.
Good evening, everyone. Last meeting, I know we spoke about data and trends. I'm still working on the data aspect to be able to report on what trends are happening within the city of Norwalk. It's a lot of information, but I feel that once I have a good formula, I'm able to report on a monthly basis. Additionally, I'm trying to figure out if I want to report, by calendar year or if I want to report by fiscal year. So I'm still tinkering with the idea of which one works best, but definitely every month. I'm sorry?
Rolling 12, rolling 13. So we can see the last month, the last July compared to this July, etc.
That works too. Okay. With that being said, with the cold weather kicking in, I received an increased amount of calls and concerns about heating, and a lot of tenants asking if the landlords are required to raise to elevate or to turn on the heat in their homes and their properties. And I said yes. So I directed a lot of those calls towards the health department, housing inspectors. They're being very, very helpful in that aspect as well. A few weeks ago, the Norwalk Housing Authority had their annual landlord, I don't know if they call it a seminar, but the landlord meeting, where they had landlords come in and fair housing presented, fair rent I presented, and then the housing authority presented about the responsibilities of landlords. So I did mention that if my name ever came across their emails or any correspondence were received with my name on it, was more than likely a complaint filed by one of the tenants. So I expressed to them the importance of keeping their units in compliance with local building code. Another trend I've seen most recently has been with security deposits. Landlords have been keeping security deposits from tenants, and I feel that some of them understand that the process to get the security deposit goes through small claims, and they feel that because it's an extensive process and the tenant has to do a lot of paperwork, has to file a suit through small claims. Sometimes I feel like they're not going to go through those steps to ask for some of the deposit back. So I've seen an increase in tenants requesting that deposit back, and I provided guidance, documents, and about small claims. Whether the tenant follows with it or not, that's up to them. But I've seen some addresses where some landlords, particular landlord, I'm not mentioning any names, have kept a certain amount of deposit and return another amount of deposit in the hopes that the tenant would not follow through a lawsuit to ask for the remaining and simply go about their lives. And it's been certain addresses keep coming up. So I'm just keeping that in my radar. And that's all I have today.
Thank you, Carlos. We'll go back to the agenda and we'll go on to the next item, which is review, discussion, and motions on open cases. And I'll go down to the open cases and we'll turn it over to Russell Liskoff.
Good evening, everybody. Russell Liskov. The first case we have is 1862-25, 41 Wolf Pit Road, apartment 4K. The landlord wants to raise the rent from $22.94 a month to $2,480 a month. This is our oldest complaint. I've been working on it really, really hard. Every time I make progress, unfortunately, something tends to go awry. I would think we were going to have hearings on this, but people were sick. Spoken to Carlos about it. If you want to do a hearing, it would be in December. I think we need to do it because nothing will settle a case like putting people toward having a hearing. So I would ask you to take no action on it tonight and set it down for a hearing in December. It will be a long hearing. There's a lot of evidence to be heard.
Let's do it here. I'll take a motion.
I move that we set it down for a hearing.
And you take no action tonight, Mr. Guest?
Take no action tonight.
Thank you.
And well, so you said you're not going to set it down for a hearing now. You're going to consider it later.
No, we should do a hearing in
No.
December on it.
Hearing in
We've
December.
already,
So,
by accepting the
okay.
case, we're already putting it in a position to have a hearing. We've had scheduled hearings. They've just been postponed due to illness. So this is just keeping it as usual. We have it scheduled for a hearing.
So the motion should say simply no action. at
Yes,
this-
sir.
Okay, so I move that we take no action at this time.
Thank you.
Second,
Have a motion from Commissioner Guest, a second from Commissioner Penn Williams. Any
Second.
discussion? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, we'll go to the next case.
The next case is 1869-2512 Live Oak Road. The landlord wants to increase the rent from $3,500 a month to $3,950 for a 3-bedroom apartment. We've been working pretty good on this one. We've had talks with the landlord. We've had talks with the tenant. We finally got some documents being exchanged. The tenant did not have a copy of the lease and the landlord had to provide that to us, and we got that provided to us today. The landlord was in the hospital for a while. There's a lot going on. But in any event, I think I'm pretty confident that next month we'll have the case resolved. But this month, I would ask you to vote to take no action.
Move that we take no action.
Second.
We have a motion from Commissioner Guest, a second from Commissioner Halliday. Any discussion?
Yeah,
All in favor?
$450 a month. Wow.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay,
The next case is 1871-25, 12 Willard Road. The landlord wants to increase the rent from $2,318 a month to $2,434 a month. We have been negotiating with the landlord and the tenant. We've spoken to the property manager. We're speaking to the tenant. We were going to speak to the tenant the other day, but we just couldn't get the call together to do it. So I'm pretty sure we're going to get rid of this case next month. But for this month, I'd ask you to take no action.
I move that we take no action at this time.
we have a second.
Second.
We have a motion from Commissioner Guest, a second from Commissioner Penn Williams. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great. Hold on, let me scroll down to the next one.
The last case we have for tonight, an open case, is 1872-25, which is 46 Prospect Avenue, apartment 4C. The landlord wants to increase the rent from $2,000 a month to $2,400 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment. The case, we negotiated it, an agreement was reached, and the complaint has been withdrawn. So I would ask you to vote to close the case.
And I'll note for the record that the complaint withdrawal is in your meeting packets and you can refer to it if you'd like to.
Well, what are we doing that says, I don't see what we're doing about this.
The agreement was reached. I've asked you to vote to close the case.
I move that we close the case.
I second.
Second.
All right, I have the motion from Commissioner Guest, the second from Commissioner Penn Williams. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Any abstentions? All right, we will close that case. We'll go on to the next agenda item, which is new cases. Look at that.
It is. It's a beautiful thing. Everyone's playing nice this month. So there are no new
Hey.
cases this month.
Hip hip hooray.
All right,
Thank you, everybody.
thank you, Russell. All right, going up to the next item on the agenda, we have old business, which is nominating committee update. Carlos, I believe that you had correspondence that you shared with the Corporation Council. Do you want, or maybe Russell, I don't know which of you was taking this. Do you want to share that? I think you would attach that to the meeting invite as well.
You want to start, Carlos, and I'll finish if I need to, or you want me to do it? How would you
Yeah,
like?
sure, I can start. So I hope everyone got a chance to read the attachment, which is a Word document of the email I received from Corporation Council stating that an alternate cannot serve as a chair or be elected as a chair or a vice chair. The only ones who could be elected are regular members of the commission. And if a regular member does not voluntarily resigns his regular duties to become an alternate, then an alternate can be appointed as a regular for the sole purpose of filling the position of chair or vice chair.
Right, that's for one meeting as necessary, as opposed to the being titled the chair or vice chair. Correct.
I know we're missing Fran today. She was on the nominated committee, and Commissioner Johnny May Weldon, so.
Thank you for sharing. Does anyone have any questions about that? And if not, then I can share my thoughts on it. So as I see it, we have a couple of options here. The nominating committee could go back and considering this, come up with a new slate. We could also have discussions. We could ask Carlos. I think you'd need to be the one to raise this to the new mayoral administration to potentially request that certain individuals become appointed as regular members, which may necessitate some of the current regular members being appointed instead as alternate members. That could put us in a position where those who are interested in serving as an officer would be able to serve as officers. Or we could just decide to take nominations from the floor at this meeting and vote to have a new slate of officers at this meeting. I'm open to any of the positions, but I want to give Commissioner Guest, who was the chair of the nominating committee, the opportunity to express his views in terms of what he thinks the nominating committee would want to do. Would you like to go back and reconsider, or do you want to just open the floor to nominees now for election?
Before you do that, I think that we should need to wait for Fran and Sissy before we decide to do anything.
Well, that would be fine with me. And I think that would also, I mean, maybe we could have another meeting of the nominating committee, since both of them are on the nominating committee. But I'm amenable to whatever the group decides.
I think that it would be not appropriate to have a vote right now, given A, the two members of the nominating committee are not present, and B, that the nominating committee wasn't able to produce a slate with the knowledge of what the Corporation Council would opine on this topic. So I think now that you have that information, the nominating committee could meet again and reconsider and discuss what you think the best options are for putting forward a slate. And we can hear that. If not, if we end up having a hearing at the December meeting timeframe, then we could hear it in January instead, and just do it at the new year. If there's no objection to me continuing to serve as chair until then, I don't object to serving as chair until the nominating committee has the opportunity to. So.
Well,
Just
sir,
schedule another meeting.
Commissioner Guest, sorry, what were you going to say?
well, I was saying certainly no objection from this quarter.
Okay.
And I don't know if anybody else who's in attendance has any objections.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Great. Well, thank you, Commissioner Guest, for taking on another meeting to your growing list, but
Okay.
appreciate it. And does anyone have any new business to discuss?
I do have one more thing to say.
Yeah.
With
Go.
regards to December's hearing, I
Yeah.
did talk to the residents. The next Fair Rent Commission meeting takes place, or it's scheduled for December 3rd. They wanted to know if we could push it out to December 10th, where we could hold the hearing on that date. They're able to make the hearing on the 10th.
Let me check my calendar.
So you do your regular meeting on the 3rd if you wanted to, and do the hearing on the 10th, or, whatever.
Yeah, if it's going to be a long hearing.
It's gonna be trust me, it's gonna be a long hearing.
Yeah, we could have a short meeting on the 3rd, and then the full hearing on the 10th.
I'm
That'll be-
available on the 10th if need be.
That'll be in person, the live hearing.
Yes.
Make sure we get some pizza delivered.
So,
You may want something stronger.
does anyone have any objections to holding the hearing on December 10th?
No.
No,
No.
All right. Then December 10th it is.
So but I do object to having two meetings, one on the 3rd and one on the 10th. I
I'm
object.
I'm fine with just having a meeting on the 10th.
Okay.
We can have a regular meeting and have the hearing as part of it. And if need be, we table the topics from the actual meeting, and if the hearing goes too long, we table the topics from the actual meeting until our January meeting.
what time would the hearing, what time would the 10th, would that be at
They-
6:30 or?
They traditionally start at 6:30. Carlos, any disagreement on that?
6:30 works.
Okay,
Unless you
I
I
guys
would
want,
like,
unless you
Yeah.
want 6 o'clock to try to get out of here earlier, but I don't know if that works for everyone.
I think there are some who travel from work and might not, outside of Norwalk, and might not be able to make it by 6, but can make it by 6:30.
Okay,
Well,
we'll keep
why
it
don't-
6:30.
Why don't you poll that? Cause 6 o'clock sounds good to me. Do you work out of town, John?
I work in Stanford, so I can probably get here by 6, but
Yeah, but you get two drops of rain on that highway or two flakes of snow and you're
I
talking,
take the back roads, man. I don't take the highway. Are you kidding?
okay.
Send an email
um,
out.
Yeah, we can try for 6. I can try to make 6. I just want to make sure that we have a quorum. Brenda, I'm keeping you to 6 o'clock if we're doing it at 6. None of those 6 o'clock rolling in at 6:05, okay?
I just live up the street from City Hall.
I know. I'm teasing you. All right. Thank you, Carlos. Yeah, so you can schedule that. Any other new business that we should discuss? And if not, I'll take a motion.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. I move that we adjourn.
Second, it.
Second,
Any discussion? All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
We had the motion from Commissioner Penn Williams, the second from Commissioner Guest, and everyone was in favor. Thank you, everybody. It's 8:03 p.m. for the record, and the meeting is adjourned. Have a good
Happy
night.
Thanksgiving,
Have a good one.
everybody.
Thank
Good night and happy
Happy
Thanksgiving,
Thanksgiving.
everyone.
Good night. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.